the session of the steering board of the Peace Implementation Council. During the last 2 days, we've discussed among ourselves and also with the members of the Bosnia and Herzegovina's presidency, with the chairman of the Council of Ministers and his 2 deputies, and also with the leaders of the 6 political parties that make up the governing coalition, the current situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina and the future expectations from the international community vis-à-vis our local partners, and also the role of the international community in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Communique, which was just adopted, is available for you and will be distributed shortly, I understand. There are a couple of points I would like to make now. I would like to stress basically 3 points. First, that the Peace Implementation Council is united in its views, and the communique was adopted unanimously by all the members of the Peace Implementation Council. Second, it was stressed several times that all parties in Bosnia and Herzegovina must fully comply with the Dayton Peace Agreement. And third, important conclusions from this meeting says that the closure of the office of the High Representative remains our goal, but the Bosnia and Herzegovina authorities must ensure that conditions for closure are met. The long-term objective of the Peace Implementation Council and the OHR has been to see Bosnia and Herzegovina as a peaceful, viable state irreversibly on course for European integration. There are 5 key objectives: the resolution of the state property, resolution of the defense property, completion of the Brčko final award, fiscal sustainability of the state, and finally the entrenchment of the rule of law. Apart from these 5 policy objectives, there are also 2 conditions which should be met before transition could take place. First one is signing of the Stabilization and Association Agreement, and the second one is the positive assessment of the situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina by the Peace Implementation Council Steering Board. Instead of engaging in intense dialogue to find solutions which are so badly needed for Bosnia and Herzegovina, the political leadership once again took up a diametrically opposed and maximalistic position. There have been renewed tensions between political actors over the future constitutional makeup of the country, as well as the role and competencies of the state. State-level institutions have been called into question, and there have been also challenges to the Dayton Peace Agreement. Peace Implementation Council Steering Board expressed its deep concern with official calls for secession and stressed that it is clear that an entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina has no right to secede from Bosnia and Herzegovina. One of the important elements stressed by all the members of the Peace Implementation Steering Board is that Bosnia and Herzegovina politicians must fully comply with the Dayton and Paris Peace Agreement. They must end the practice of threatening unilateral changes to the constitutional structure of the country. There must be no question that Bosnia and Herzegovina consists of 2 entities, and that Bosniaks, Croats and Serbs are constituent peoples throughout the whole country. In every country, political life has its positive and negative cycles, but in Bosnia and Herzegovina the negative political cycles seem to be much longer and more difficult to break. Through their words and actions, the political leadership can either transform the negative cycles into positive ones or escalate the situation into yet another downward spiral. We have many examples that progress can be achieved quickly whenever there is dialogue and political will. This is currently missing in Bosnia and Herzegovina, so all the local partners, representatives, members of the Presidency, Council of Ministers and party leaders were strongly encouraged by the members of the steering board to engage in dialogue and to try to reach an atmosphere of compromise and consensus. Of course, I am not an independent political analyst to speculate about the impact. I made it clear, of course, Kosovo does have an impact, at least in creating an atmosphere throughout the region. At the same time, Bosnia is not a hostage of Kosovo, and there is no excuse to use Kosovo for Bosnia's own problems or setbacks. So Bosnia's destiny is in the hands of Bosnia and Herzegovina's representatives. I don't want to speculate about the sentiment of the Serbian nation throughout the region. Prime Minister Dodik spoke about it at length, and he said that he is under pressure. At the same time, the RS authorities were able to control the expressions of this overall Serbian sentiment. I don't believe I don't expect any further protests or movements which might have the capacity to destabilize the country. Of course, I have accepted my mandate. Bond powers are part of my mandate. So, and that means if there are threats to the peace, stability, to the respect for Dayton Peace Agreement, I will have no hesitation, and I will use my bond powers, of course.